Welcome to Have You Read It, the channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Whether you're here for self-help, personal growth, or business inspiration, there's something for everyone. Today, we're diving into Clayton M. Christensen's groundbreaking work, The Innovator's Dilemma. This book, first published in 1997, tackles a perplexing question. Why do successful, well-managed companies fail when faced with technological change? It's a question that resonates even more strongly today than it did 2 decades ago, in a world of constant disruption. So, grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's explore the fascinating world of disruptive innovation. Christensen doesn't focus on poorly managed companies or those caught off guard. He's interested in the good ones, the companies we admire, the ones that listen to their customers, invest heavily in R&D, and have a keen sense of the market. And still lose. He uses the vivid analogy of fruit flies to describe the disk drive industry, a perfect example of rapid evolution and revolution. Its tumultuous history, marked by constant technological shifts and the rise and fall of giants, provides a unique lens for understanding why good companies can fail. Think Sears, once a retail powerhouse, missing the rise of discount stores. Or Digital Equipment Corporation, a celebrated innovator, being blindsided by the personal computer. These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a larger pattern. The Innovator's Dilemma introduces a key distinction: sustaining versus disruptive technologies. Sustaining technologies, whether incremental or radical, improve existing product performance along dimensions valued by mainstream customers. Think faster processors, higher resolution screens, innovations that make good products better. Disruptive technologies, on the other hand, initially perform worse in mainstream markets. They're often simpler, cheaper, smaller, and more convenient, appealing to a niche or emerging market. The transistor, initially inferior to the vacuum tube, is a classic example. So too were the first personal computers, clunky and underpowered compared to mainframes, yet perfectly adequate for home use. The challenge for established firms is that they excel at sustaining innovations. They listen to their best customers, invest in what promises higher margins, and meticulously analyze market trends. These very strengths, however, make them vulnerable to disruption. Why invest in a cheaper, lower-margin product that your best customers don't want? It's a logical, even responsible decision that can lead to a company's downfall. Christensen points out that established firms often develop the disruptive technology first, but then fail to commercialize it effectively. They're held captive by their existing customers and their own successful business models. Another key concept in the book is the idea that technologies can progress faster than market demand. Companies, striving to outperform competitors, often overshoot the market, offering more than customers need or are willing to pay for. This creates an opening for disruptive technologies. Think about mainframes. Their power eventually exceeded the needs of many users who found desktop PCs sufficient. Similarly, many shoppers who once valued department store service find discount retailers perfectly adequate. This leads to the third element of the failure framework, the seemingly irrational decision not to invest in disruptive technologies. For established firms, it's a financially sound decision. Disruptive products usually mean lower margins, smaller markets, and initially unhappy best customers. It's a tough sell in the boardroom. Who wants to cannibalize their existing profitable products? This short-term focus, however, can be a long-term death sentence. The book explores this framework through a detailed analysis of the disk drive industry. The industry's rapid cycles of innovation provide a powerful illustration of how established leaders repeatedly stumbled as new architectures emerged. The transition from 14-inch to 8-inch drives, then to 5.25-inch and 3.5-inch drives, each time saw entrant firms seizing the opportunity, while established players lagged. This wasn't about technological incompetence. The established firms often developed the new technology first. It was about a fundamental misalignment of incentives and organizational structure. To further validate his framework, Christensen examines other industries. The mechanical excavator industry, with its shift from cable-actuated to hydraulic machines, mirrors the disk drive story. So does the steel industry, where mini-mills, using simpler technology, have steadily gained ground on integrated steel giants. These diverse examples demonstrate the broad applicability of the disruptive innovation model. It's not just about high tech, it's about fundamental shifts in value networks. A value network, as Christensen defines it, is the context within which a firm identifies and responds to customers, solves problems, procures inputs, reacts to competitors, and strives for profit. Each firm's position within its value network shapes its perception of a new technology's value and influences its investment decisions. Established firms, focused on their existing value network, often miss the potential of disruptive technologies that target different value networks with different metrics of success. This leads to the critical question: how can managers overcome the innovator's dilemma? The book offers a set of principles for managing disruptive change. The first is to give responsibility for disruptive technologies to organizations whose customers need them. By creating independent units or spin-offs, companies can free disruptive innovations from the constraints of the mainstream business. Think Quantum Corporation creating Plus development to commercialize the 3.5-inch hard drive, or Control Data establishing a separate unit in Oklahoma City for 5.25-inch drives. These independent organizations, focused on the needs of a different customer base, could thrive where the mainstream organization would have stifled them. Another key principle is to match the size of the organization to the size of the market. Small, emerging markets can't solve the growth needs of large companies. Therefore, disruptive innovations should be pursued by smaller units that can get excited about small wins and aren't pressured to deliver immediate blockbuster results. As Christensen observes, what motivates a manager in a $40 million company is very different from what motivates a manager in a $4 billion company. The third principle is to embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Markets that don't exist can't be analyzed. Therefore, planning for disruptive innovation should be about learning and discovery, not about executing a fixed plan. Managers need to be prepared to iterate, to pivot, to adapt as they learn more about the emerging market and its needs. This requires a different mindset from the traditional, plan-driven approach to sustaining innovation. The fourth principle is to recognize that an organization's capabilities define its disabilities. Processes and values honed for success in one context can become liabilities in another. Established firms often struggle with disruptive technologies not because they lack resources or talent, but because their existing processes and values are misaligned with the disruptive opportunity. The final principle is to understand that technology supply may not equal market demand. The very attributes that make a disruptive technology unattractive in established markets are often its greatest strengths in emerging markets. Therefore, managers should focus on finding or creating markets that value those attributes, rather than trying to force the disruptive technology into the existing mainstream market. Christensen emphasizes that these principles are not about abandoning the core business or neglecting sustaining innovation. They're about creating a parallel path for disruptive technologies, a path that allows them to flourish without being constrained by the demands of the existing business model. The book concludes with a case study on electric vehicles. By applying the principles of disruptive innovation, Christensen suggests how a major automaker could approach the electric vehicle challenge, not by trying to create an electric car that competes head-to-head with gasoline-powered cars, but by finding or creating a market that values the electric vehicle's unique attributes, such as simplicity, convenience, and low emissions. The Innovator's Dilemma offers a powerful framework for understanding and managing technological change. It's a must-read for anyone seeking to navigate the complexities of innovation and disruption. Here are some key takeaways in the form of heuristics to remember. Sustaining versus disruptive. Is the technology making a good product better, sustaining, or changing the value proposition entirely, disruptive? Customer focus. While crucial for sustaining innovation, can be misleading for disruptive technologies. Market size. Small markets don't solve the growth needs of large companies. Think small for disruptive opportunities. Plan to learn. Markets for disruptive technologies are unpredictable. Experiment, iterate, and adapt. Capabilities as disabilities. What you're good at can prevent you from seeing or pursuing disruptive opportunities. Value network. Understand the context. Different markets value different things. Find the right fit for the disruptive technology. Thanks for watching. Have you read it? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.